Olá, boa noite. Eu sou o Biribó, hoje com o vídeo 12 de Monkey Island 5, Contos da Ilha dos Macacos. A autogravação do game ontem no encerramento da jogatina registrou. Quando Guybrush finalmente tenta usar La Esponja Grande na incrivelmente infestada de sarampo Elaine, nada acontece. Por sorte, LeChuck chega bem na hora para salvar Guybrush da forca, nobremente colocando-se, junto com a Madame Voodoo, à mercê do sistema jurídico carniceiro de Ventania. Agora, com a sua amiga mais antiga e o seu mais velho inimigo na prisão, Guybrush deve descobrir o que houve de errado com a esponja, a fim de curar o sarampo de LeChuck de uma vez por todas. É daí que a gente prossegue o jogo.
LeChuck!
Guybrush!
I would have bet my good hand I'd never say this, but thank you
For what? I've caused you nothing but despair.
for taking the fall back there, and for exposing the voodoo lady. I don't know what to make of any of it, but now I can focus on saving Elaine and dealing with the pox.
It is the very least I could do. But be careful, Guybrush.
I'm always careful.
This from the guy who proposed to his wife with a cursed engagement ring you stole from my hold?
Is that a dig? Is the evil demon pirate LeChuck developing a sense of humor? This is weird. Really, thanks again.
You don't need to thank me, my friend. I merely spoke the truth. They say that truth is the greatest barnacle scrubber, you know.
Where have you been? I thought you were with Elaine.
Well, after leaving Spinner Cay, Elaine and I set out to finish releasing all those monkeys I'd captured. After we were finished releasing the last of them, Elaine caught wind of your trial, went into a poxed rage, seized a passing clam schooner, and made a beeline for Flotsam Island.
That's my girl.
Needless to say, I took my own vessel and headed after her. But in the middle of the night, my ship was sunk by a rogue wave. I was washed up on an island of cannibals, from whom I deftly escaped, using many of the self-same skills you taught me back on the Jerkbait Islands.
You know, it's amazing how easily man-eating tribes can be reasoned with.
Knowing I needed to get here more than ever, I lashed together a few bits of cannibal leftovers and warthog sinew to build a makeshift raft. Unfortunately, that was soon eaten by the sharks.
Oh no!
So I swam. I swam as fast as I could for 3 days.
And arrived just in time to save me from the gallows. Nicely done, buddy. Kudos to your swim instructor.
I was fueled by the fire of our budding friendship.
Have you seen Elaine?
No, not since she left me in a poxed rage.
She's been doing a lot of that lately. So you haven't seen Elaine then?
I'm afraid not. She's quite a handful.
You're telling me. All those thwarted attempts to marry her might have been blessings in disguise, huh?
Quando ele contar isso pra ela, ela vai mudar de marido.
I can't believe the voodoo lady has been pulling your ghostly / demonic strings all these years.
It came as a shock to me as well. But her diary spells it all out. You, me, Elaine, we're all part of the voodoo lady's malevolent plans.
Malevolence is in the eye of the beholder, Guybrush Threepwood. I know this is difficult to understand, but things are not as they seem.
No, things seem remarkably convoluted, which is what I've come to expect from you.
I've always had your best interests at heart.
Well, what about my interests? Without your meddling, I could have lived a normal, happy pirate's life.
Ha! The destiny of LeChuck has never been normal.
How about the mountain of ice on the roller coaster of the damned? She was behind that?
Especially that.
I risked life, limb, and manatee to get La Esponja Grande, and it's a puny, worthless lump.
What?
Soak up the gargantuan wonder that is La Esponja Grande.
That is La Esponja Grande? But wasn't it supposed to hold infinite amounts of voodoo?
I know. What a crock.
The size of the sponge is meaningless. It is what you do with it that matters.
Oh, yeah?
Well,
you fight like a...
The sponge is still small.
Most unfortunate.
Sit tight, buddy. Once I save Elaine, you're next.
Don't worry about me.
Posso falar com a Madame Voodoo também? Eu ainda não acredito que ela é do mal.
Hey, you!
Hello, Treepwood.
You sent me on a wild albatross chase for La Esponja Grande and promised me it would cure the pox. But after fending off sexually ambiguous merpeople, a giant manatee, and your crazy ex-boyfriend, what do I get for my trouble? This sorry excuse for a kitchen sponge.
La Sponja.
I noticed you strategically left out the Grande from this worthless piece of junk. Once it cured my piddly leftover pox, it didn't have enough mojo left to cure Elaine.
It's not worthless. It is merely young. It must be brought to maturity in order to reach its voodoo-absorbing potential.
Brought to maturity? How am I supposed to do that? Give it a talk about the sponge birds and sponge bees?
Like all infants, La Esponja needs nourishment. It must be fed 6 special voodoo courses to bring it to adult size.
What sort of meal is that?
A feast for the senses. The menu, Treepwood. Take it, and serve the sponge a meal unlike any other.
And then?
It will grow.
Hey, neat. There's a map of the Flotsam Jungle on the cover. No more listening to bees and birds and boars for this mighty pirate. That's odd.
Mas e os outros pratos? Aperitivo. Tem que ir clicando aqui nos símbolos. Esse é o do aperitivo, para apetecer a visão guardanapo berrante. Entrada, preparando o olfato, carne podre de antepasto. Primeiro prato, para um gosto acentuado, limpe o paladar com um sabor arretado. Prato principal, para o sexto sentido, use o mapa, mas dobre a atenção na contracapa. Sobremesa, com apenas um pouquinho de tato, ficará chocado de fato. Saideira, celebre o fim da refeição com um arroto de rachar a audição.
I better fold this up before I put it in my pocket. Hey, you! Again!
Hello, Treepwood.
You've been lying to me about LeChuck all these years.
My ways are my own, Guybrush, but rest assured I have never lied to you.
You're lying right now. All this time, I thought LeChuck was an inhuman monster. Actually, he was an inhuman monster, but only because you made him that way.
Did I? Or was I merely playing my role in a much larger play?
Stop trying to confuse me. We're tired of being puppets in your chess game.
This is no game, Treepwood.
You corrupted LeChuck and sent him out to torment me and Elaine for years. I'll never trust you again.
I don't require your trust, Treepwood. Only your heroism.
I met Coronado de Cava.
My beloved. How was he?
Mad. Bipolar. Life ruined. Just another pawn sacrificed in your theater of the damned.
I never meant to cause him harm.
Sure you didn't. Come on, admit it. You were manipulating Coronado.
Coronado was never touched by my voodoo, even though he sometimes begged to be.
I'm not sure we're talking about the same thing anymore, so I'll just shut up.
Ela tá falando que nem a Amália Guedes.
So, when I was with DeCava, you might have felt something strange happen.
Ah, you are no doubt alluding to your brief possession of my physical form.
Ha! How did it feel to be the Manipulate Ted instead of the Manipulator for once?
It was curiously liberating.
You're weird. Have you seen Elaine? Of course, even if you have, I won't believe you.
So whether I have or have not does not matter.
Well, if you do, tell LeChuck and then have him tell me. About this feast for the senses,
What would you like to know?
the first course in the feast for the senses, the napkin. What's up with that?
The table must be set with an eye-catching napkin to entice the sponge's hunger.
The antipasta? Explain.
With the table set, a powerful aroma must encourage the appetite to grow.
I think my nose has been in shock since traversing the inside of a manatee.
I'm sure you will find something.
Can you tell me about the palate cleanser?
Before the main course, the palate must be scalded clean by a powerful taste.
Ooh, like grog?
No, not at all like grog.
It says here that course 4, the main course, is the sixth sense. That doesn't even make sense.
Ah, but it does. For where the other 5 senses are limited to the finite experiences of the present, the sixth sense satiates the appetite for the infinite possibilities of the future.
The future? How do I feed something the future?
You already hold the answer to that question.
This sixth sense business is all pretty abstract.
You must find something that will allow the sponge to sense the future. As I said, you already possess the key to finding it.
É o baralho de tarô? Prevê o futuro?
What about the dessert? This is one hungry sponge.
Ah, what is your favorite thing about dessert, Guybrush?
Running out before the check arrives?
No, it is the pleasurable shock of something different.
Ah. It says the feast for the senses ends with a bellowing belch.
Do not worry about this. If you provide La Esponja the first 5 courses, the location of the final course will undoubtedly reveal itself.
Ah, my favorite type of responsibility. The one that takes care of itself. Alright, enough about the feast for now. Try not to get executed before I cure Elaine.
As you wish.
Vamos ver se tem guardanapo lá. No
Stan!
baixo.
Threepwood! No hard feelings over all those various civil and criminal charges?
Water under the bridge.
Great.
A bridge with a fast-talking shyster/salesman dangling from it. Still trying to make a buck on my recently cleared name?
Nah, I sold all that junk to that Dooro sap. I moved on to the next trial of the century. Flotsam Island versus LeChuck and the Voodoo Lady.
How are sales going now?
Great! People can't get enough of the Voodoo Lady's murky moral ambiguity, mysterious unexplored backstory, and her ample
La 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 la, I'm not listening, la la la.
voodoo charms. And as for LeChuck, well, let's just say the Lady Pirates love a tale of redemption. The whole bad boy made good angle.
Ah. Have the Voodoo Lady and LeChuck been put on trial yet?
Have they? It's the trial of the century!
Wait, I thought I was the trial of the century.
Yesterday's news, Threepwood.
So, what kind of case are you building against LeChuck and the Voodoo Lady?
Oh, I'm not prosecuting them. I'm defending them.
What? Why?
Why do I do anything, Threepwood? Money! Pieces of 8! Filthy lucre! That Voodoo Lady babe is loaded! Funny thing, though, she only let me take the case if I defend LeChuck, too.
Funny like a peg leg. What kind of souvenirs could you possibly be making out of the Voodoo Lady and LeChuck?
Oh, ye of little faith! Feast your eyes on the all-new People vs. LeChuck and the Voodoo Lady collection!
What's this?
What's a little decorative pin I've whipped up?
Trial of the Century 2. Electric Voodoo.
We're still working on a title.
What's that one?
That's our Cursed Cutlass of Cthulhu LeChuck doll. Press the button for its special transforming glow.
What's happening?
It's a little bright.
Yeah, we're still working out a few kinks.
What's that?
It's my entrancing Voodoo Lady dashboard good luck charm.
Disturbing. On second thought.
Say no more.
I don't suppose you'd be willing to sell me your eye-bending jacket.
Give up my jacket? That'd be like Samson getting a buzz cut, or King Arthur losing Excalibur, or Bluebeard dyeing himself blonde.
Huh?
Without my jacket, my salesman mojo would wither away faster than a hothouse orchid in a pizza oven.
So that's a maybe?
O casaco dele é que vai ser o guardanapo chamativo, berrante, brega.
Sure you don't want to sell me your pupil-defying jacket? It's for a good cause.
This jacket stays with Stan until it literally falls off my back, Threepwood.
Então vamos arrancar.
I don't suppose you'd be willing to sell me your eye-bending jacket.
Give up my jacket? That'd be like Samson getting...
Huh?
Without my jacket...
So that's a maybe? Have you seen my wife?
Have I? That crazy sea devil hit me up for one of my patented and perfectly passable porcelain power pirate treasure maps before hightailing it for the jungle. If we're lucky, that thing will keep her going around in circles for weeks.
Também agora não vai adiantar ir no bar se o guardanapo é o casaco.
Four!
Yikes!
Would you mind steering clear of the dartboard? Now that I've found me darts, I need to practice before tomorrow night's tournament.
Hey, WP. I told you I was innocent.
Well, bully for you! Meanwhile, we're still all poxed, there's a creepy voodoo priestess in my jail, and your wife's still threatening to sack our town. Truly, these are the best of times.
Looks like Ladies' Night has finally come to an end.
I'm thinking about cancelling it in favor of something a wee bit safer, like Ultimate Mumbly Pig Night or Amateur Tattoo Night.
Ouch!
Levou choque ali na saída.
What was that? Something sure shoved a short sword up his aft sail. It looks like the old Vacalian wind control device has been set to suck again. But what's that tubing around its fingers all about?
Pra ninguém mexer mais nos controles.
That's weird. This whole idol is under one of Crimp Digit's unbreakable glass bottles.
Antes não tinha nada disso
What
pra
in the
cá.
name of Bluebeard's hair dye?
Hey, no poaching. I have called dibs.
I think I may be lost. Shouldn't there be a creepy voodoo shack right about there?
There was, until they came to arrest that pox-spreading voodoo lady.
What happened?
First came the flames. Poor Senor Nipperkin went up like St. Elmo's fire. Then she emerged from the conflagration, mumbling ancient curses with every regal step. I never forget the baleful stare she fixed me with as she was led away. A look condemning me to a lifetime of suffering, shame, and regret.
Spooky.
And if that wasn't bad enough, I haven't found one bit of cool voodoo stuff in the wreckage. Come on!
Mob justice can be so unfair. Even when it's burned to the ground, the voodoo lady's shack is still creepy. Looks like the light of the shack's embers has attracted a swarm of jungle moths. That probably explains what happened to the voodoo lady's rug. What a shame. That rug really tied the shack together.
"18, 19, 20, and X marks the... Grr. When I get me hands on that plaid-coated scallywag, I'm gonna rip off his waving arms and beat him to a briny pulp with them. What are you looking at?"
The secret to eternal life. Le spectre de Grand César!
Doesn't look like Elaine's in any immediate danger. Hopefully she won't commit any unforgivable atrocities before I finish enlarging my pox-curing sponge.
Diário do Pista Libre. Apesar de vários esforços em achar uma isca que deixasse rastros, a fera continua sem deixar uma trilha seguir. Se ao menos ela tivesse um rastro brilhoso, como os vagalumes... Peraí, que cheiro é esse?
The tide must be high. I can almost reach down and touch the well water.
Ele foi pro lado esquerdo aqui. Como é que ele saiu ali? Ah. Ah. Qualquer caminho que ele pega, ele sai aqui.
I bet that's the sacrificial altar of the jungle beast that Hemlock was rambling about.
Então devia ter carne aqui ou alguma coisa. Ou aqui vai ter que arrumar as coisas do banquete da esponja.
La Esponja Grande is only good for soaking up voodoo. like the pox. Nah. We've replaced our usual fleshy sacrifice with a clever simulacrum. Let's see if the jungle gods notice.
Tá aí, a carne ele já pôs. Mas isso é pra aparecer a fera, não é?
I don't think so. Now that I know a little bit more about the Vacalians, it appears that we're nearing the end of the Year of the Fish, and approaching the dawn of the Year of the Slightly Bigger Fish. I wonder who put this idol under glass, and why? That's weird. Trail didn't go anywhere.
Antes levava, né? Agora não. Agora as mariposas estão aqui. E agora eu vou lá na cabana voodoo sem mariposa? É esse o objetivo? Não, as mariposas continuam lá.
I'd better keep away from them, or they'll strip me naked faster than you can say MA rating.
Vou ter que pedir outro cortador de vidro em quebrado.
Say there, unbiased citizen.
What do you want?
Are you as scandalized as I am by this trial?
I'm just glad that scum-sucking LeChuck and that scum-sucking voodoo lady will finally be brought to justice.
Gee, you suck a little scum and everyone wants your head. Have you seen my wife?
Does she have red hair, green eyes, and a mole in the shape of a cocker spaniel on her left thigh?
Yes.
Nope, haven't seen her.
See ya. What the?
Chegou
Morgan!
trabalhando aí.
What happened?
Went to get your hand.
You didn't have to do that.
Had to pay you back for all the trouble. Found Jacques. He told me.
What?
He told me.
What? What did the monkey tell you?
Que triste que ficou esse jogo.
Singe. Singe will pay for this. It's broken. This must have been broken in the fight between Morgan and Singe. I hope the vole escaped. Auto trepanation helmet.
Não sabe o que fazer, vai apertar todos os botões. É Ilha dos Macacos, né? Vai fazer macaquice.
Ow! What? My thumb! God, blah. Ow! Whoa! Help?
É melhor descobrir primeiro o que fazer com isso.
Lepidoptera flotzimus accelerus. Like many of its more common cousins, the sharp-toothed flotsam island moth has a penchant for noshing on articles of clothing. Where Flotzimus accelerus differs is in the pain of its bites, which can be quite annoying, and the rapidity of its meals. A swarm of flotsam moths can strip a man down to his undergarments in mere seconds, assuming the notoriously finicky moths approve of his wardrobe, of course.
Então é isso mesmo. Tem que colocar a luminária de perna lá na casa da Madame Voodoo para disfarçar ali para passar onde estão aquelas mariposas.
I could try to mix up those chemicals, but I'd probably just end up exploding. And not in the funny way.
Então experimentar os outros dois botões.
Ow! What the...
Ele diminui. É Alice no País das Maravilhas. E no outro deve crescer, então.
Ow! Ah! I'm blind! Ugh.
No outro fica escuro. Para ele, pelo menos.
Vampiridae flotzimus sucrosus, the flotsam jungle firefly, are a common sight in flotsam's jungles, which they never leave. Although possessing no natural enemies, the Flotzimus sucrosus has a notorious sweet tooth, drawing it inexorably to bodies of sugar water. It looks like Singe is using my hand to make something called the jus de vie.
E agora quer usar...
The Vacalian wind control device? What is that creep doing with it now? Did Singe murder you too? It's locked. Oh no. This is where the Marquis keeps all the severed limbs of the pirates he's operated on. Hey, you never know when a sack of severed legs is gonna come in handy. Or footy, as the case may be. Sorry. Hi there, Double Peg. Have you seen my wife?
I tore through here like a cat out of hell, off into the jungle.
Ainda tá nisso. Ah, pegou um saco de pernas amputadas lá naquela sala.
It's a sack full of severed legs. Ugh.
Então essas pernas ele deixa lá no altar pra fera e pega a luminária.
Alas, poor hemlock! I knew it, this limb, a leg of infinite toe jam, of most excellent thigh cheese. It hath borne its owner's creaking frame 1,000 times, and now how clammy and gross within my grasp it wriggles. Oh well, soup's on. Uh-oh.
Agora veio a fera. Mas ele não tem que ver a fera? Nada.
That altar reeks. Smells worse than the sofa bed after Elaine's mom has dropped by for a visit.
Nada a ver. Umas coisas que dão umas ações sem sentido.
Whoa! Uh-oh. Looks like these finicky moths won't eat a jacket that's encrusted with bacon grease, fish water, and manatee guts. Lucky me.
Tá, então ele pegou monte
The
de
good thing those
mariposas.
fashion-conscious moths don't appreciate my clothes, or my pockets would have more holes than the Albert Hall.
Vão comer a roupa de alguém. Será que é para pegar a jaqueta do Stan? Mas daí elas vão comer e derreter tudo. Derreter não, né? Consumir tudo.
Alright, little fellas, check out these high-def duds. Well, that's just great. The lamp's dead. Well, at least Stan's sign is keeping the moths from returning to the jungle. No.
Ah, acendeu o boneco LeChuck. Boa ideia.
Stan!
Guybrush, old pal!
Can I take another look at your voodoo lady and LeChuck gewgaws?
Can't keep your eyes off him, huh?
What's that one?
That's our cursed cutlass of Kaflu LeChuck doll. Press the button for its special transforming glow.
What's happening?
It's a little bright.
Yeah, we're still working out a few kinks. Hey now, what's this? A fuzzy flying fan club? Ah! Hey, knock it off, you nutty nibblers! That hurts! Sweet, fancy, Ah! Moses! Ah! Ow! Ah! Ow! 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 Ouch! Well, that was one heck of an experience, eh, Threepwood? It's a good thing old Stan always keeps a few spare jackets in the back office, or I'd be defending my clients in the Altogether. Say, that's not a bad idea. Stan S. Stanman, naked attorney at law. You've got nothing to hide, and neither does he. No time to chat, Threepwood. I've got business cards to print.
Podemos pegar o guardanapo
Sweet.
berrante, então.
Even though it's been reduced to rags, Stan's jacket is still a sight to make eyes sore. You know, when I dreamed of becoming a mighty pirate, I never imagined that one day I'd be tying eye-popping napkins around the non-existent necks of mystical sponges.
É, tá aqui a esponja com o
It's all
guardanapo,
dressed up and ready to eat.
com o guardanapo no pescoço. Depois de pôr o guardanapo, precisa uma entrada. Carne podre de antepasto. É lá no.
I
no
better fold
altar.
this up before I put it in my pocket.
Lá no altar da perna. Devorado. Aqui, ó, com o fedor de carne.
La Esponja Grande is only good for soaking up voodoo. Like the pox.
Então não é isso. Se ao menos ela tivesse um rastro brilhoso como os vagalumes. Espera aí, que cheiro é esse? Água açucarada eu posso fazer aqui, então. Garoto esperto.
Jungle fireflies, nature's little spotlights.
Sim, e
Those fireflies are so pretty, it almost makes you forget they spend half their lives as maggots. The fireflies are attracted to the sugar water on the leg. Fascinating. And just a little nauseating. I don't know about mythical jungle beasts, but I always prefer my ritual sacrifices to be slathered in sugar water.
ó, que
At
susto.
last, I've lost that she-devil.
Ouch, that's gotta hurt. Serves him right, though. Still, I'd better finish feeding the sponge before Elaine hurts someone I actually care about.
A trilha dos vagalumes. e achou a Elaine.
The mighty pirate hunter tracks his prey via his distinctive firefly-attracting spoor. That's the legendary jungle beast of Flotsam Island? That poor little flesh-eating stink bomb looks like he's in a world of pain. Oh, look at that. The poor hideous flesh-eating plant is a smelly, rotting lion's paw caught in its teeth. Thorns. Hold still, little buddy. I'll get that nasty old hunk of meat out for... Yikes! Come on, plant. Fork over that paw. I'll never get my hands on that super stinky paw while that mouth is snapping at me.
Dá alguma coisa pra ela morder.
Here, boy. Ooh, that looks uncomfortable. But at least he's not snapping at me anymore. Don't worry, you freakish little abomination. Dr. Guybrush will make it all better. Gotcha! Ew! That is by far the foulest thing I've ever smelled in all my years of pirating. And that's coming from a guy who's just spent a few days inside a giant manatee. That lion's paw stinks worse than my mother-in-law's neck folds.
Esse adora, sogra. Que já dá pra dar a sogra pra esponja.
Come on, little sponge. Eat the nice smelly antipasta. That's a good sponge.
Aperitivo guardanapo berrante. Carne podre de antepasto. Para um gosto acentuado, limpe o paladar com sabor arretado. Tem que limpar o paladar com sabor arretado.
It's like a whole new map now.
E diga essa coisa.
You!
de
Again!
Paladar.
Hello, Treepwood.
Your hut is nothing more than a smoldering pile of rubble.
Yes, a destruction of my own doing.
But you had so much neat stuff. The chest of foreshadowing, your creepy rug, all those skulls, and that mysterious machine in the corner that didn't do anything.
The objects of utmost importance were taken care of, stored away in a safe place.
Where?
You have the knowledge of its whereabouts with you right now. You must know how, not where, to look.
Couldn't you just tell me directly?
I would, but the walls have ears.
Eyes. They have eyes. About this feast for the senses?
What would you like to know?
Guardanapo já foi, antepasto já foi, limpar o paladar.
Palate cleanser.
Something of such grand flavor as to send the senses back to square one.
Big flavor. Got it.
Grande sabor.
All right, enough about the feast for now. I bet the Marquis thinks you have the hots for him now.
Tell me, did you ever consider where my consciousness traveled when you replaced it with yours?
No.
Bye. Então é isso. Por hoje ficamos por aqui. O Exou Biribó, agradecendo a presença, o apoio, a companhia, as dicas, desejando boa noite, até amanhã. Por enquanto eu fui.